Which trouble for Tinubu as demand over his school certificate resurface ahead of 2027. Abeg, no dey whine us. Wey na dey whine? They are asking for a school certificate again. At the end of the day, nothing is going to come out of it. No dey whine us. Abeg, Cfrpa demands Inec clarify President Tinubu's academic credentials ahead of the 2027 election. A civil society organization, the Center for Reform and Public Advocacy (Cfrpa), has asked the Independent National Electoral Commission (Inec) to clarify issues surrounding the academic credentials submitted by President Bola Tinubu during the 2023 presidential election. The organization made the request in a letter dated June 19, 2026, addressed to Inec Chairman Professor Joash Amopetan. In the letter signed by its head of legal unit, Barrister Kalu, the group said its request was aimed at obtaining clarification on the legal implications of concerns raised over the president's educational records and their relevance ahead of the 2027 presidential election. Daily Independent reported. Cfrpa said the move was intended to promote transparency and strengthen public confidence in Nigeria's electoral process. It is well, the organization stated that some details contained in the document released by Chicago State University and other records had raised serious questions that is believed required INEC's interpretation. They are not going to do anything. INEC is not going to do anything. INEC. Wait, you're just wasting your time. It also referenced constitutional provisions relating to the qualifications required for individuals seeking elective positions in Nigeria. CFRP urged the Electoral Commission to make its position public, arguing that clarification would help address concerns about eligibility requirements for future elections. The group added that it may seek judicial interpretation of relevant constitutional provisions if INEC fails to respond to its request. Oh, we hear. Michael said, will it stand? Me and you, we know what's going to happen now, Shebi. Harmony says, after 4 years in service, try. Ultimately says, only God can save this country from incompetent leaders, incompetent judges, incompetent forces. Kayode Nuruddin says, wheelers at work again. This is what you people will engage yourself doing. And this man will be sworn into office again come 2027. Set of Momotos. You are the Momo here, Kayode. You are the Momo here. Kene says, Nigerians don't require certificate to become president. Well, that has been happening for a very long time. You don't need certificate to become a president, to become governors. We have lots of illiterate governors that are governing the country. Our president too says school, primary school, secondary school, we don't know the one that he went to. Not to talk of the Chicago State University that he's saying that he went to. It is well. As Socrates says, is it not clear now that Tinubu's certificate in Chicago is not settled? A president whose educational track record is still suspicious. I have not seen anyone who said he was Tinubu's classmate from primary or secondary school. Did he fall from the sky? Did he fall from the sky? It is well. As well, it says all these foolish, idiotic, political fanatic and rabble-rousers must apply to God Almighty to send them holy angel to rule Nigeria. They will cause commotion until they put innocent people into trouble, as they did in SA that caused xenophobic problems, which caused expulsion of many innocent peace-loving Nigerians being forcefully returned home. Children of Jezebel. Maranzu says, where were you when he was entering office at first? Medicine after death. Don't mind them. Asokome says, use the one you used in first term and go and hit your head. Your results will no knowledge and no benefit. Okay? Manasi said, this is very true. Why should his educational status remain secret? Reserved for only APC to know, because there's nothing. He doesn't have any certificate. It is well. If he is ready to be scrutinized by the public, then it means he's not ready. Okay, if he's not ready to be scrutinized by the public, then it means he's not ready for public office. Should there be a different law for different citizens? A good example in a good country. Good example, it should start with him as the head. If should be removed from the Constitution of Nigeria, so be it, but should not be applied selectively, applying to someone others and waived for some others. Okay. Emmanuel said, as usual, even electricity bill will suffice. What did he present in 2022 that enabled him to become president? Nothing now. What? Nothing. Samson says, does any court in Nigeria a responsible and honest court again? No as an answer. Whatever you feel you have seen as truth will be shattered by this demonic evil compromised political judges we have today. At Falani says, we have so many fools and idiots around. He works in major oil companies abroad as an accountant. Where is the evidence? Abi, so when you work in an office, you never take pictures there, as in not a single picture. That's a lie. Which he worked as an accountant where a senator, governor, 2 terms, founded the party, godfather, imparted lies, and so many. Which lie did he impart? Falani, lie legit. Abeg, come on for road. Stonehouse says Nigeria wants to be clear. The way they manipulated this issue in 2023 was alarming. The world is watching. Pagam says this is the needed spirit. Enough of criminals occupying key positions in Nigeria government. Mediocrity must give way to excellence in Nigeria. Inec must be Inec. How can an APC card carrying Amokbeton be Inec chairman? Never. Joseph says Tinubu is a woman in Chicago with enough gilly on her head. But a man with baby in Nigeria, isn't that laughable? Very laughable. I already know that story. Celestine says about don't have certificates, is just a wicked author who is destined to destroy Nigeria. Chris Okeke said, will the compromised Amokbeton have the courage to demand for Tinubu certificate? That's what we should be asking. Because I said the INEC will not do anything. They won't do anything. Good question. Nothing will happen to your Tinubu. INEC will over all these lapses. And even if it is brought down, before the court, it will be dismissed. Then just they play. Now, so, Fire Global says in the Nigeria system, those who don't have certificates hire those who have to work for them. Will INEC chairman produce the certificate when it was not submitted? Different people, different administration. And I want Amokbeton to lose his job. There's no time he will not lose it. He will still lose it. No, only last. And Dr. Sepe says, continue to form all kind of clause with more consonants than vowels. Travel around the world and continue the noise that you have been making since 2023. If God the Almighty says yes to his destined choice, who are thou any mountain before the river? I beg, let's hear what mountain before the river. Who is the river? I beg, quoting Bible. So Tinubu is the river. I beg, go and sit down. My listeners, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.